literally brought PhDs in from MIT to look at the last 25 championships that have been won. And 24 out of those 25 teams were led by a top 50 all-time player, so one of the 50 greats. And so you need one of those guys to win. We were going to go by what the math told us. The math told us we needed a top 50 guy. And then you also needed 2 subsidiary all-stars. So you needed a big 3. We had 1 all-star, Paul Pierce. So we spent 4 years getting ready for trades in '07. What it meant was drafting kids and keeping them and giving them playing time. And some of them were going to stay, and some of them were probably going to go in these trades that we were thinking in the back of our mind might happen around the '07 timeline when Garnett was coming up.
So before the Ray trade came, we had worked out a Minnesota trade, but because we weren't able to get a contract extension, we were not going to give up the asking price of what it was going to take to get KG. He just didn't think that our team was good enough to win with just him and Paul. So we moved our attention immediately to Ray.
Amazing score with the most beautiful three-point shot that I've ever seen, and athletic, and just kind of like a quiet assassin.
We made the trade for Ray Allen, and I actually had to go out to announce the trade to our fans who were all in the Garden that night. And I got booed, and I'm like, well, these people, they don't understand how good Ray Allen is, you know?
I didn't know what to expect when we got Ray Allen. I just was like, hey, we got Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Ray, tell us what you thought when you heard about the trade.
The tradition here is so great, and it's one of the best in sports, and I think I just look forward to that.
This doesn't seem like a Danny Ainge move to me. Why are you trading the number 5 pick for Ray Allen? There's got to be something else, right?
You know, we traded for Ray Allen, and I was just like, hold on, you know, that guy's more like my age. Why would we trade for him? You know, okay, so I must be sticking around.
Once we solidified the trade with Ray, we had taken away a piece off the table that had been negotiated in the KG trade, which was the number 5 pick in the draft. But we felt that KG had a connection with Ray. You know, maybe we could get KG to agree, but getting the Minnesota Timberwolves was going to be a lot tougher now. It was very unlikely that we were going to get KG.
Kevin almost essentially had a no-trade clause. If he didn't want to come to the Celtics, then he wouldn't need to agree to an extension, he wouldn't have come. So we thought that the Pierce and Allen combination, as long as we could keep Rondo, was going to be big for us.
Sure enough, Danny Ainge wasn't finished. He was just beginning.
There's a method to Danny's madness. Like, he's making chess moves.
It wasn't much me talking KG into anything. I think it was KG seeing, you know, that now it's different.
Danny was like, it's possible we can get Kevin. And I was like, you know, we already got Ray. If we get Kevin, we got something. We're going to probably win it.
We just didn't know whether Kevin was going to agree. We didn't know whether Minnesota was going to agree. They're trading away the greatest player to ever play for that franchise.
A couple of times we played him that year. Well, I wasn't on the court much, but, you know, he was talking trash to Perk. He was a great competitor. You know, I didn't like him at all. I just knew he was a Hall of Famer, and he was a guy that everyone had great things to say about.
Very tempting as an owner to hang on to your guys, because trading someone away is risky. The fans get very upset, and it just might not be the right move.
Danny laughs. He walks in my office and says, now we hear word Kevin wants to come. And I say, but we gave up all our assets. And he says, no, Kevin McHale wanted the best big man available. Al was the best young big man in the league. Me, Kevin McHale, Danny went golfing. And when I finished golf, I walked in my room and said, we're going to get Kevin Garnett. Because all Kevin McHale kept talking about was Al Jefferson and how good Al Jefferson was. Man, I think he can be a star, you know. The one thing I've learned as far as, like, trades, once a guy loves one part of the trade, he doesn't even hear the other part.
Rumors were swirling throughout NBA circles. Something big was indeed about to happen, and Paul Pierce knew it after talking to an old friend.
Antoine wouldn't just call me and say something out of the blue like that. I was just like, whoa, you know, this could really, really happen. And I was just like, after that, like, pushing for it. Let's do it.
This Garnett deal was complicated, and it took 2 weeks of negotiations with Minnesota to get it done. And it was Danny and Kevin McHale, his great friend. And in the last 2 days, it went to a different level. And Glenn Taylor wanted to talk to me because Danny didn't want to give him Rondo.
My name was on the screen one day. It was like myself and like 7 other players on my team. So, you know, I thought I was going to Minnesota with that deal.
Danny said, please take his call. Please get the deal done. And I said, Glenn, Rondo won't even start for you. I hope we do the deal, but this is the final offer. Please call me by 5 if you're going to accept it. I was too nervous, about 3:30 or so, I went out for my favorite run on the beach on Martha's Vineyard. I did bring my phone, and the phone rang. And there's Glenn. He said, I want to be the first to congratulate you on winning the 2008 NBA championship. And my mouth just fell open. I couldn't believe it. Looked around. There's nobody within literally a mile of me, and nobody to tell. But I just stood there for a minute and just thought, yeah, we might actually get this done. We might actually get banner 17.
The genius thing that Danny did that probably doesn't get said enough is Rondo wasn't involved in that trade. We do that same trade in that Rondo, we may not win it.
When I got the call confirming that KG was coming, it was a great day to still be a Celtic.
I remember just getting back in the gym. I was going in like from 3 hours to pushing it to 6 hours. Like, now is the time.
These guys are going to win the championship. They're going to be great. Like, all the attention is going to be on them. This is something you'll be talking about for years.
I thought this is probably my best opportunity of winning the ring, so I took the big steps to make those adjustments, and here we are.
All three of us were on teams where we were the Lone Star, made the All-Star team, but didn't scratch the playoffs.
It was like they were in the elevator on there on floor 5. They couldn't get to the penthouse, you know, and perhaps together they could find the right button to get up there.
It feels good to have two big guns on the side of me. It feels real good. It's like being in a Lamborghini doing 200 with your head stuck out the window. That's what this last...
You done that, man?
I don't have a Lamborghini to begin with.
It was really a fun time to be a Celtic, and you could feel that heat and that intensity.
I know there's been a lot of comparisons already. I've heard of the big three. Big three is the big three until we win. And these guys will never be the big three until they win.
I set those three down and told them the way that I think we need to play to win. And I sowed it hard on that one day.
We planted the seed in that meeting right there. You know, a lot of people are saying, you know, they need some time together. They need a year to get to know each other. But Doc was never with that. He was like, this is the year now. This is it right now.
Doc was in his element now. He was the leader of that group.
When they see us coming and the other team see us coming on the other end, they'll definitely be afraid because you got to pick your poison.
When they formed the big three, we kind of just said we was the other two.
I had a great opportunity to play with 3 first ballot Hall of Famers, and I wanted to win now.
We're not done. We have roster spots to fill. We think we can continue to improve our roster. We don't think that these 3 guys alone can win a championship.
Ainge's coaching tenure in Phoenix would pay dividends. That's where he first came across Eddie House, a 7-year NBA veteran out of Arizona State.
My infatuation with Eddie goes way back. I remember going to a practice when he was a young player, and I was just amazed at what a great shooter this kid was. He was a guy that could really help us off the bench.
From afar, you were like, man, their team just got loaded. Right after that, Danny gave me a call and was like, yo, you the next guy that I want. What do you want to do? And I was like, no brainer. You know what I mean? Count me in.
There was one last matter of business to attend to. Free agent James Posey was about to sign elsewhere, but everything turned on a dime at the 11th hour.
I actually told my agent, was like, you know, I'll just go to New Jersey. Then Eddie House called me. He was like, you know, Pose, man, we could use you, we need you, you know what I'm saying?
We had a team that I think James just saw that he wanted to be a part of.
I ended up calling my agent back and said, you know what, you know, I'll go to Boston.
He was sort of, you know, a last piece that we added to that team before the season started.
In the fall of 2007, Doc Rivers was searching for ways to bring his team together. A chance encounter at his alma mater, Marquette University, presented him with that opportunity.
This lady named Stephanie sitting next to me said, hey, Doc, have you ever heard of Ubuntu? You need to get your team to practice Ubuntu. And I'm like, I don't know what Ubuntu is.
The definition of Ubuntu is, I am who I am because of you. So essentially, my shine is your shine. My success is your success.
What? Okay.
Doc always felt strong about me delivering this because I live this concept.
Big Baby of all people. On the first day of training camp, I had him read the definition of Ubuntu to the team. This is not a joke. This is not a rookie hazing. And if you don't do this well, I'm going to be upset.
At first, you know, I had no idea. Like, I thought it was like African, you know,
warrior type of thing, you know, and then he was like, hey, I want all rookies to go paragraph about what Ubuntu means. And I was just like, wow, this is dope. And it was, you know, a metaphorically cool way to get everybody like on the same page.
They did it with passion. They were grabbing their heart. They were talking about it. And right when they finished, I said, all right, let's get it in. And Kevin Garnett says, on 3, Ubuntu. And that's where it started.
We sort of just created our own little mini cult.
That word, it melted right into what we was doing.
We need each other to succeed. One person can't do it by itself.
I can't be all I can be unless I make you all you can be.
I am if you are. I have to embrace your good, because if you're good, that makes me good.
Everything we talked about was in Ubuntu. When we got in the hood, it was in Ubuntu. That's what we bled. That's what we said.
And that philosophy was the best thing that could have happened to that team that year.
And even to today, you know, the guys I talk to, we always say, you know, Ubuntu.
Doc wasn't done with motivational techniques. His next one involved a tourist attraction in an early morning for the new Big 3.
And so they meet me in the apartment, and we're sitting there in the lobby, and Kevin is Kevin. He's MF. And what am I here for? What do we have to talk about at 8:30 in the morning? They couldn't wait. And all of a sudden, this tugboat pulls up. And the MFs, what are we going to do, a history of Boston?
Oh, it was cold, too. I was just like, man, what does Doc want with us now? We get on the tugboat tour, and he's talking to us.
This is the boat that you'll be in June for your parade when you win it.
And we're going to ride around town in this tugboat.
You know, I said, hey, Wave, this is what you're going to be doing. I wanted them to see, to envision the parade.
It was just like going on that, okay. You know, I can see the crowd now, you know, all around. We're rolling through the city. We ended up in the water. He wanted us to envision it.
Then there was the blank space on the wall at the team's practice facility. 16 banners. Doc, he had a spotlight installed, focusing on the one empty spot.
KG used to look up there every morning. I'm talking about like a 45-second stare, like.
We gonna get it. We gotta get it.
And you could just tell it was on his mind just to like get that banner up there. It was like, it almost gave you chills. He was the leader, so it kind of rubbed off on everybody else.
When I looked up there as a rookie, and the knowing that I can be part of immortality, I thought, like, godly, you can't take that away.
Teams hang up, you know, being in the playoffs or conference finals, like it's nothing but championships in their practice facility, and that's what it was about, and there was our goal. It was nothing less.